Okay, I guess that's it. Hey, hi, viewers. How are you doing? Yeah, you're welcome to the off night. It's happening all over again, and we have so many things going on. We're trying a couple of new things for you. As you can see, I'm coming from space, but the big thing is, it's just fascinating. Now, I was listening to the science on Friday, and apparently, somebody believes that there may be life in the cloud of Venus. It's fascinating. Okay, but to get this moving along, let's get your host and MC, Mark Sweetman.
There we go. Okay. All right. And I am so inept at this technical
stuff. No. This is about confidence. Confidence.
Although, you know what? The picture looks pretty good this time, though.
Yeah, you look good.
There you
go.
Thank you, Andy.
Hey, you look good, pal. Yeah.
You look space. You look spacey, if I can say it. You look like you're floating around in the. Yeah, you're floating around in the cosmos. Yeah,
I'm trapped. Spock, get me out! No,
out.
Help! Anyway, I was serious about that. They were talking about this woman was talking about 3 different projects to go up to the clouds.
Wait, Andy, hold on. Before you say you're serious about something. We weren't live when you were talking to us about it before, so recap what you were telling us about what was happening on Science Friday.
Oh, okay, Science Friday, a woman had brought up the concept that there may be life in the clouds of Venus. Even though it's sulfuric acid, they have theories that maybe life may actually be up there. And they're going to try 3 different rockets to go and try and collect and figure out if it's possible. And they were doing experiments actually here in sulfuric acid to see if there's life that can survive. And they have actually been able to see some aspects of bacteria still in a sulfuric acid base.
Wow.
This is what you get for driving a cab on a Saturday afternoon. Yeah. and you have nothing else to do.
Just don't send James Tiberius Kirk out there because he'll just try to, have a romance with it, So.
I think you're very sexy, Sulfur.
Sulfur.
I think I'll put a helmet on the soldier. I don't really want to touch you, but let's see what we can do, okay? I'm afraid I'd be disintegrated by your love touch. Okay.
Are you ready to bring our other the rest of our foursome out here?
Sure.
All right.
Wait till we get to Hidden Brain. I'll tell you about Hidden Brain. Oh, there's some great stuff in Hidden Brain. So,
do you listen to Hidden Brain?
Yeah, all
Sunday
the time.
Mornings? Yeah. He's well. Let's get everybody out here. Then we'll talk about what's it, Danthern Fernandes or something like that.
I can never pronounce his name. I just call him Hidden Brain.
I'll look it up and see if I can pronounce it. Anyway, here's Jason Grant, the beloved Jason Grant.
Oh,
is he coming?
I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Jason Grant.
Jason.
You summoned me. I'm here. There you go.
Jason Grant has Jason Grant actually has the same rhythm and tenor as Pigs in Space from the
Pigs in Space. The same sort of meter. Absolutely. Well, we want to have bacon in the future. I think if there's any future worth living, it's one that does include, the breakfast meats, starting with, pigs. Hi.
Pigs.
Happy Monday.
Have a good Monday.
Yeah, I've got on my Andy Warhol cosplay uniform, so I'm not sure how well it's working.
Did he trimmed his beard? Your hair on your head looks the same, but he trimmed
the beard is definitely So it's somewhere between angry Scooby-Doo villain and Andy Warhol, some sort of conflict between those two. points there on the whole sartorial scale.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best we can do, though.
Yeah, you hear all this talk about how Paramount sold out CBS News and CBS Network and stuff like that for the merger with Skydance and everything. And you've heard a lot of people saying, Scott Pelley did that big rant over at 60 Minutes and he got fired for that and all that kind of stuff. And I said, I took it with a grain of salt, just like everybody is sort of like slow down, things aren't that bad. Let's see what CBS does here in a couple of years. But then on CBS News tonight, they had a story on the live dog that's going to play the live version of Scooby-Doo in a live action Scooby-Doo movie.
That's the hard-hitting sort of journalism that Walter Cronkite would.
Today, Scooby-Doo will be run by a live dog. That's that'll be good for us all. Thank you very much. What do you think about
Cronkite in Vietnam in 1968 versus the live dog for the Scooby-Doo movie? I
believe it's the end of the live dog Scooby-Doo interview. All I heard was barking and gnawing on my arm.
Meanwhile, Martin Scorsese and everyone over at Disney is going, why can't you just AI the dog? What do you need an actor for?
What do you need an actor for? Yeah.
Anyway, let's get our poetess out here. Here she is, the lovely, the beautiful, the talented Susan Sweetman. Here she comes, I think. Oh, there she is. Yeah.
Yeah, like 5 minutes ago, you said, let's bring out all four.
Well, I like to give everybody, here's your chance to shine.
I'm not Cinderella. You don't need to bring me in late.
Sorry.
Welcome to Zingfest 26.
Oh, don't be throwing glass shoes in the house. I mean,
Anyway.
Everybody have a good day. No tsunamis hit Michigan, so I think we're all right.
Although the maps I saw on the news looked like we're going to get something tonight, though. So,
sure.
Yeah, global warming and all that, severe weather.
Tell you what,
speaking of conspiracies, there are folks that think that the climate change is a conspiracy. And yet there's scientific evidence to prove it's real.
Here we go. It's time for the conspiracy bunker.
Conspiracy.
Hey. What did I do?
So you were talking. Let me start. You guys were talking about, doing conspiracy stuff, and what I found a bulletin of atomic scientists, and it's a 4-year-old article from May of 2022, but. An atomic scientist actually wrote an entire abstract and research paper on the American population long embracing conspiratorial thinking. And don't atomic scientists have better things to do than write about, America's false beliefs about COVID-19 and
well, it's affecting
political polarization, and that's 2022. It's probably worse now.
Well, I mean, it's affecting their jobs.
Oh, no. Where did Jason go?
Did we say something to offend him?
Oh, no. Atomic scientists? Oh, no.
Once we start talking about real things, we can't possibly,
I would expect when I open an abstract from an atomic scientist that it would have science.
Real science.
Conspiratorial theory page. So I just thought that was interesting.
All right. Are we ready? Are you going to do your poem?
I'm Mr. Science. I have a bachelor's degree in science.
Did we lose Jason?
I
want to apologize if my zings
I hope
were
I didn't say anything. I hope I didn't push a button or something. I don't remember.
My zings were aimed at Mark.
Normally he, normally he would come right. Oh, here he is. Now he's back. Okay. I said normally.
Sorry, guys.
I didn't offend you, did I?
No!
Atomic scientists trigger you or what?
They
always do, actually. They've more than you know. But yeah, it's.
One is a genius, the other's insane.
All right, it's time for the poem. Here we go.
Oh, okay.
Poem.
Today, southern Philippines experienced a severe earthquake, and tsunamis hit several shores, the magnitude 7.8. J.D. Vance posted on social media, blamed migration for a UK murder. The case was not about racism or religion. Vance makes it absurder. Nowak, who was white, was murdered. Sikh lied, said a racist assault. The Sikh man is a British citizen and killed him, not immigration's fault. British Deputy Prime Minister David Lammy tells off J.D. Vance. You are wrong in your blame, your dumb immigration stance. Tony Awards Sunday, Cassie Levy wins for Ragtime, Best Actress. John Lithgow, Best Actor. Nathan Lane left out. Is this madness? In Massachusetts, a federal judge just ruled today Trump's 100,000 HB1 visa payment is not okay. Constitutes a tax Congress did not authorize the president to impose. President Trump expected to pout behind the resolute desk, I suppose. That's your poem.
There we go.
Very good.
Thank you.
Excellent. Good topics.
All right. What's the J.D. Vance? What did he make, a speech or something? Oh, a post on social media.
No, he posted on I don't know what's the Twitter. What version of social media does he use?
Truth Social, or
he posted on one of his social media pages. There was a murder in the United Kingdom, and the perpetrator happened to be a 23-year-old man who was also a Sikh, and he killed a 17-year-old teenage boy, a male, who was white. But when police arrived, the Sikhs said it was racially motivated and he attacked me, and that turns out to not be true. But the police put the white young man under arrest, even though he was bleeding to death very rapidly, and they were treating him like a suspect rather than the victim he actually was, because they thought, they believed what the other fellow told them. Now, it turns out the Sikh is a British citizen, and this has zero to do with any kind of immigration. It's a murder. It's a murder. And so for JD to start stoking, these conspiracies and
all right, question number one. I guess as a private citizen, that's cool, but as the vice president, why does he even care about a murder in Britain? As the vice president, I'm sure as a human being.
Well, it turns he's trying to look for evidence that immigration is bad. And it turns out David Lammy, who is the deputy prime minister over there, and J.D. Vance are actually good friends. But he really took J.D. Vance to the woodshed, because it's like, it's not immigration. This fellow who murdered the other fellow, they're both British citizens. And, the murderer is now convicted and behind bars, and we don't need to stoke all this hatred. It's also the father of the dead teenager had said, that's horrible that he's putting stuff like that out there, because it's actually not about racism or religion. That's actually a quote from the victim's father. So Vance, just was way out of line. And I'm glad that this Deputy Prime Minister, David Lammy, took him, gave him what for.
Yeah. If vice president meant anything, I guess I'd be more concerned about it. But vice president really doesn't mean anything.
Well, Matt, this
on immigration. On immigration, I was listening to, once again, NPR,
good for you. Yeah.
It was on I think the first episode. They were talking about Social Security and the death section. So for a while there, Mr. Space Guy that there are people on the death rolls that were still alive, and they were getting like 150 years old, and then they're saying, "Are these vampires?" And it's like, no,
that's not even real. That's not even
not
real.
But what they
like somebody might be dead and they miss it for a couple months, but even when that happens, any money paid out has to be returned.
Yeah.
So if somebody else cashed their check or collected it, it has to be returned, or they latch it to the state.
You mean like their 45-year-old son that never left home?
Exactly. So what they said that doesn't happen. That really happens. And what Musk was talking about is that they have these things on the rolls of somebody who was alive in 1878, but they can't get on a fixed time what their birth was. So they have them on the rolls as being still alive, but they're not getting any money. They just felt they couldn't make them dead because there's no actual legal thing to it. So what they did is they finally made them dead, and then they were getting the guys who were at the Social Security were getting these lists, like 600 lists for 6,000 people, to have them put on the dead rolls. And what that does is basically, if you become dead, you don't get any credit. You can't get a house. You can't get anything because you're considered dead. And when they found out the 6,000 people were still alive and they were actually citizens, but the one thing they had in common is that they were immigrants or Mexican. And they had from the top, they had sent this down to the Social Security to get rid of these people and force them to actually try and get out of the thing. When they fought back on it, they didn't do the final list, even though it was given to them from the home security. What do they call that? Home security, whatever.
The home office in Yahoo, Nebraska.
Yeah, the wise and wonderful people who are running the security. And
there was an episode where Archie Bunker was notified he was dead. Did you ever see that at All in the Family?
No, but they finally sent down. They're going to send down 3 million people to be put on the death list, and they were all immigrants. And the guy admitted that they were trying to get rid of the immigrants using this death thing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's more what, J.D. Vance is just trying to spin that stuff.
We're talking about
when you're on that side, Andy, yes. Admitting that you did something is not saying that you did anything wrong. You're bragging that you did something.
Yeah.
On that side, that's not admitting. That's bragging.
Yes.
I guess everyone they assume that everyone is on their side and having them do that. So.
Yeah. They to the credit of the Social Security group, they didn't do it.
Yeah. You mean the ones that are now fired?
Yeah, the ones that are fired are on their way, but they're the guy was a whistleblower. Now he's kind of like they're in part of going through the case on it. So it's not happening, but it came close.
So that ties into the HB1 visa thing. That ruling just came down today out of Massachusetts, and it's a tax, and Trump had no authority to impose it on HB1 visas. So
how's the returning of the tariffs going?
I don't know.
Because
if you paid
about
one.
4 months ago, there was a ruling that the tariffs were illegal and that they needed to be returned, and all these companies are applying to get back the money for the tariffs they paid.
I think Trump already spent that money. He's pocketing it apparently. What I don't understand, and I've been watching some of these lawyers on YouTube videos, but how can you have that settlement where his potential criminal acts of tax evasion can't be investigated? I mean, that's a separate thing. If you have a civil lawsuit because his taxes were improperly
that's what happens. That's what happens
and you have
when your
settlement,
government sues yourself. When you sue yourself, you get to settle however you want.
But you can't waive a crime. So a contract cannot contain something that's illegal. So if a crime was committed, and I'm not a lawyer, so I would defer to actual attorneys to explain it. But a contract cannot contain a clause that's illegal. So if there's some IRS criminal activity going on in Trump's taxes, there certainly could be investigations and prosecutions the settlement agreement is simply a contract. You can't waive illegal activity in a settlement agreement. I don't understand.
We're because they're becoming C-SPAN at this point. I don't know what's we gotta try and get back to it to something normal here.
Okay.
But the one final thing is what do you think of the new CIA intelligence guy?
Oh my God.
What about it?
He was just appointed so he could get into all the private, secure files. That's it. That's all he's doing is downloading everybody's data.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, does anybody remember anything about Herbert Hoover? I mean, it's like not Herbert Hoover, but
that's the Pulte Holmes guy, right? He built houses.
Yeah, the FBI guy.
Is that the one?
Pulte's the house guy.
Yeah, but
Pulte is the guy who.
Who's the guy appointed?
Gabbard's.
Yeah. Well, anyway, yeah, that's exactly. He's a loyalist to Trump, and they're expecting him to try and mess with the elections as they're coming up, and then try and figure out, pick up any of the information he can. I mean, it's like,
Sean Curran.
Got it. So that's the theory, because they don't want to have a regular guy, and actually the Republicans and the Democrats are worried about this guy.
Yeah, not good.
Not worried about anything. I'm hoping the Chinese bomb the shit out of us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm
not hoping for that, but I think God's sending, bad weather. Maybe another Noah's Ark is going to float by.
Who was the FBI guy who was in charge of the FBI for like 30 years? What was his name?
J. Edgar Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover.
That's it. Not Herbert Hoover. J. Edgar Hoover.
No. Yes.
Well, I mean,
different people. Different.
He was
same
more
vacuum.
than 30 years.
Same
he was
vacuum
more than
cleaner.
30 years.
But I mean, he blackmailed. Ike, Nixon.
All
Johnson,
the while cross-dressing.
JFK.
All the while, J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser, and he's the guy blackmailing people. Go figure.
And he was being blackmailed by the mafia. So,
well, if you're fans of the Three Stooges, often J. Edgar Hoover appears, or some reference to him in a lot of Three Stooges.
The Three Stooges episodes.
Well,
J. Edgar Hoover?
You do remember what Lyndon Baines Johnson said about Hoover. I'd rather have him in the tent pissing out than outside pissing in.
Exactly.
So,
he's got all the information.
That's a good line.
Did anybody do LBJ quotes? Do a book of LGBT? I mean, LBJ. He was around the same time as Yogi Berra. Between the two of them, what a great show that would have. What a great act. You think Steve Martin and Martin Short is a good little duo together? I mean,
FDR was certainly had no shortage either. His first vice president, John Nance Garner, these two came to hate each other with an unspeakable passion. Actually, it was a very speakable passion. And in 1940, Garner tried for the nomination because there was it wasn't exactly certain that FDR was going to go for a third term. And then when he heard that Garner was actually going to run, FDR was quoted as saying, "Well, it's nice to see the vice president has thrown his bottle into the ring," referencing his drinking habits. John Nance Garner was, of course, replaced by Henry Wallace, and Mr. Garner went into retirement and later became the oldest living vice president in our history, living to be 95 years old.
Wow.
As I'm sure many of our listeners are also feeling like they're 95-year-old hearing this diatribe from me. So there you go. We'll stop there. We'll just stop there.
C-SPAN to the history of C-SPAN.
There you go. Yes, we things that happened 90 years ago. Here, I'm glad you tuned in, folks. Comedy podcast. It's Monday night. Here we are.
It's Walter Cronkite. That's the way it was. That's the way it was.
Well, if you want to go back 100 years, women got the right to vote, and we're still not ever in the role of president.
There was a much more dire and even bigger mistake that was made than that. We changed the way senators were elected.
Yes, there you go.
That is a far bigger deal.
Popular vote for senators. What
was a terrifying mistake. It used to be they were appointed by the legislatures, which actually made.
I know. I'm I'm going to look up and see what
it comes in the same time as the women's right to vote. They're almost side by side.
Did you see Trump's little hissy fit when that reporter, tried to talk about real things, and he kept trying to say California, it's illegal elections, and she's like, but what evidence do you have?
Well, the fact that 40,000 votes were dropped and not one
he
single
called her
vote goes
stupid.
for Spencer Pratt.
He called her stupid. He called her corrupt, and he called her darling.
17th Amendment.
Yes.
1913 17th Amendment.
Right. And but went into effect in 1920. I think was the first year that started rolling.
Took them 7 years. Hey, speaking of how long
sounds about right.
When they start, every time I hear them talking about the census, which they're talking with all this, they're talking about it with redistricting and whether we can question votes and all. Somehow the census starts coming up. What about the 1930 or the 2030 census? And I'm thinking, why do we need to wait? Let's write a constitution. Why don't we have a continual census? No, think about it.
We do the census every 10 years.
The post office will run the census because they have all the addresses. Whenever you change it's change of address card, it changes your voting registration. Everybody's registered to vote. Everybody has to vote. If you don't vote, you find out if the person's alive.
Some countries do that. We had a friend in Australia. If you don't vote there, they charge you a penalty. There's a tax on not voting.
Well, if they force you to watch Australian television for an hour, I mean that would seem a fate worse.
You're fined if you don't vote.
Well, I know in California, amongst the requirements that will allow you to vote are proving your residency by use of a health club membership card.
No. Thumbprint and retinal scan. Thumbprint and retinal scan. Everybody votes, no registration. Everybody is kept track of by their thumbprint, their retinal scan, their blood type, all that stuff. We know where everybody lives. We know where everybody, we know. In fact, I would do away with the secret ballot. Let everybody know.
In fact, yes, let us all put a mark on our forehead so that we can.
I don't like the thumbprint requirement at all because I don't have really good prints.
I do.
No,
I want everybody.
I've been fingerprinted for jobs and
you're not the only one who's been fingerprinted.
And everybody I'm there forever as they scan my fingerprints over and over and over again because I don't have good fingerprints they're shallow or something. And so if I have to do a fingerprint, like I can't even do it on the phone where you have the option of your fingerprint. I can't do it. It won't accept it. It thinks I don't have a fingerprint on there. I missed my chance at a life of crime.
There you go. Well, I've been fingerprinted. Although in the Michigan Department of Correction, if it would only stop at a fingerprint, they go much further. I can assure you. Some of us found it annoying, and then some of us found it rather thrilling after a while. But that's just my interpretation.
Well, when I went, the most recent one was for my concealed weapon permit, and the state police. I went down to the office and I was there about 30 minutes as he kept scanning over and over and over again. I'm like, I have fingerprints. What's the problem? We've had to be fingerprinted for adoptions and everything. It's just, they were much less picky. They're like, well, I see fingerprints. I don't know.
Fingerprints.
It's not the best when you have shallow fingerprints, I guess.
I think Mark's just making the point that he wants absolute total authoritarian control and sort of a 1984, but with more laughs. With more laughs.
I don't want authoritarian control. I want the bitching to end.
Here's the biggest problem with voter ID requirements. No reason.
Amazon has a better census than our U.S. government has.
True.
Knows where everybody
lives. The biggest problem is you're innocent till proven guilty. So for Trump and all his supporters,
guilty of voting. He's
saying there's all this voting fraud, and you should have to have give your firstborn child in order to vote. Look, they're saying you're guilty until you prove you're innocent and you're entitled to vote here. And, there were like out of 1 billion or something like that ballots, there were like 13 or something that were improper, but they weren't fraud. They were, this has actually been looked into, and like 13 out of 1 billion ballots that were wrong. Maybe it was 30. I don't know. But none of them were fraud. They were mistakes. Like somebody voted by mail and then they died before election day. That ballot should not be counted. But it's not fraud. The person who voted didn't know they were going to die before election day. That's not fraud. It's just a mistake if it was counted. So things like that. They found one person who was not a citizen that was registered to vote, but that person did not vote. So no crime was committed. I remember when Leo DeFore, who's Canadian, was getting ID at the Secretary of State in Michigan, and Leo said they tried to register him to vote. And he's like, I'm Canadian.
Yeah.
So
that's why I always say Bush won
the government workers.
just remember that's why Bush. Yeah, go ahead.
Constant and continual census.
Hey, as a former enumerator from the census of 1990, all I got to say is don't go to Unadilla.
No,
don't go to Unadilla.
No. What's Unadilla?
Oh no, you don't want to go to. No. Don't read a meter in Unadilla. You could get shot. Okay, that's what I'm saying. They don't believe that they're actually a part of the United States.
What state is that in?
It's Michigan.
It's in the state of Michigan, but they don't believe they're in the state of Michigan. Okay?
Once you get on M36 and you get just a little bit west of Hamburg, it's over. Civilization ends. Yeah,
exactly.
Are you familiar with Michigan history?
North. What's that?
There was a shooter or something in Toledo, and I thought, oh no, the Toledo wars are back.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean,
Michigan was
watching the news. It's like I guess two guys were basically shooting at each other in a party. It's like,
but Michigan, long ago, Michigan claimed that territory, the Toledo territory, and
we gave it up for the UP. Do you think we get a good problem?
No, we lost, but where they drew maps was really bad. So they gave us part of Wisconsin. I guess this is essentially what happened. So we got the better end of the deal. Would you trade the UP for Toledo?
This way, the split of the peninsula between Wisconsin and Michigan did Wisconsin a favor, because you can only imagine the Florida type jokes that Wisconsin would be getting if they had the peninsula up there.
Oh yeah,
it's wetlands up there, so there's a lot of conspiracies about wetlands.
If you go there, it's not a conspiracy. It's all true. It's all true.
My favorite UP joke is Bob Posha's, and the punchline is, "You're not here for the hunting, are you?"
No. Good, yeah, I remember. Yes, we remember and that also was the and this is not your lucky day, which also goes with
yes,
that's another for those who know, for those who don't, well, there you go. Hey, by the way, Andy.
Yes.
I don't mean to step on Mark's intro, because I know he's got a big intro on this one, because we know we're counting on you and your symphony of voices. But I have sent to you on your phone the lyrics for this week's song, which will be reinterpreted into poetry by Andy Jensen.
I got to look that up.
Yes, all the voices in his head.
I'm sorry, I have to look it up.
I just wanted to give you a little heads up.
Speaking of heads up, are we canceling next week? It's possible we won't have a show next week.
Oh dear.
I solidified my flight today. So.
Oh, good. Well, Mark and I, in our wisdom, booked a trip many months ago on Spirit Airlines.
On Spirit Airlines,
that was New York.
Hey, look at this! I can get one really cheap on Spirit. Hey.
Yeah. So they did. The good news is they did refund us, but it's not like they gave us a flight on another airline.
You know who bitched about Spirit? People that didn't live in Detroit. Because Spirit was the best airline. They flew nonstop to New York, nonstop. All three airlines, all three airports, Newark, LaGuardia,
they flew nonstop to Vegas.
They flew one stop to Burbank, which is my new favorite airport out in LA. They flew nonstop to LAX. They flew nonstop to Orlando. I mean, if you lived in Detroit, Spirit was a great. I look now, same fares that Spirit used to give on Frontier Airlines. I spend 14 hours on traveling between the airplanes and the airport where I'm transferring. Spirit, great for Detroit flyers.
Yeah,
That's my
Spirit many times, and sometimes had that nasty center seat, but I'm cheap, so I would never upgrade. You know, I smashed everything into my backpack and put it in their little cubicle in front of the flight attendants so I could get on the plane with my personal item. And, you know, if you fly on the cheap, it was a great way to travel.
I got to get the banner out for this next segment here. Hold on.
There we go.
Keep talking. I'm just working on something else.
You're going to promote my New York show?
Oh, let me do that
next week.
Yeah,
already?
That's right.
On Sunday, June 14th. There it is.
There you go.
You can actually see me on stage if you go to that performance.
Here's I want to tell you. You go there and tickets as cheap as
you're breaking up, Mark.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
You go to this website. It says tickets starting at $46. I didn't get the $46 tickets.
Well.
Oh
dear.
They started that. He paid for.
I got front row, and I got front row on the first balcony, not the mezzanine. Woo! There's two mezzanine sections, but these are
the Perlman stage at the
It's the old Globe type theaters where they have the posts in front, and because they have each deck on top of each other, it's like looking at old baseball stadiums, you know. Anyway, so I got first row. Because how many times am I going to see my wife at Carnegie Hall? Once, probably. So,
got it.
I got first row.
But you don't think I'll be invited back?
I'm not sure
Well, you know,
that's a bit passive aggressive. I think
well, Nathan Lane will be there and he'll help you out. You know,
there you go. Exactly.
You'll be suffering from not getting his.
It's the Stern Auditorium Perlman stage. So they have several auditoriums there. Stages. It's a hall. It's not just one theater. It's several. So I will be performing at the Stern Auditorium, the Perlman stage.
That is the main auditorium there. All right, are we ready for our newest segment?
Yes.
I think we are.
And that would be.
Here comes the graphic. Here comes the graphic. I titled this segment, Andy dramatizes rock lyrics using celebrity impressions.
Okay, here we go.
Elton John's Texan love song from the album Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. Lyrics by Bernie Taupin.
All right. I heard from a friend you've been messing around with a cute little thing that has been dating uptown. Well, I don't know if that's the idea much. Well, you better stay clear. I might start acting rough. You out of town guys, you sure think you're real keen, and to think all those boys here are homespun and green. Well, that's wrong, my friend. So get this through your head. We're tough and we're Texan. Our necks are good and red. So it's yippee-yi-yi. So long hair's good, so gonna die. Our American home was clear till you came, and your kids still respected the president's name. Yeah. And the eagles still flew in the sky. Hearts filled with national pride. And then you came along with your drug craze song. God damn it, you're all gonna die. How dare you sit there and drink all our beer and made it all for the workers who sweat, spit, and swear. The minds of our daughters are poisoned by you with your communist politics and I can't say this word, blues. Well, I'm gonna quit talking and take action now. Run all your clean out of this town. Oh, I'm dog tired of watching you mess up our lives. Spending all the summertime naturally high, and the eagle still flew in the sky. Hearts filled with national pride. We God damn it, you're all gonna die. Oh Lord, God damn it, you're all gonna die. Listen now. Yeah.
Oh man, Andy does the stammering just right in that.
Yes. To be honest, I was hoping for Shatner, but that worked.
That was great.
Yes,
let it be Andy's choice. I like this. Here's what I would do. Here's one thing I would do to improve it. I wouldn't mind giving him that ahead of time and letting him look at the camera.
All right.
Just make a recording of it, and then we could just play it. We just play it as a recording.
Oh,
that way we have it timed, we know how long it is, and all this stuff.
Yes.
I can actually time to work with it. I didn't realize you had sent it to me.
Maybe we should record all our segments and then you post that for next week.
There you go. Well,
we could do that. We could do that.
Mark and I are discussing potential upcoming dramatizations featuring either Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla, Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train.
Oh yeah.
And a host of others that we feel that Mr. Jensen could reimagine and reinvigorate
as poetry, because we all know songs are poetry.
Yeah,
to rhythms.
I want to hear Country Joe and the Fishes. What are we fighting for?
Exactly.
Sung by Christopher Walken.
We'll try.
I will. I think Mr. Walken's cadence would certainly be
very appreciative. Yes.
And I'm sure James Mason will make an appearance somewhere.
James Mason.
We'll just wait. We'll see. We'll have it organically appear when the meter and verse are such that his dulcet tones would best complement.
I appreciate this, guys. I appreciate this. It gives me a chance to start working on new voices and stuff.
Do they have to all be rock?
Is there a voice that you'd like to do? Because Jason and I could probably come up with a good lyric for whatever voice you're working.
What about some Helen Reddy or something? Do they all have to be rock lyrics?
Yeah, we can use Helen Reddy.
I consider
Helen Reddy. We tortured my dad listening to 8-track tapes of Helen Reddy all the way to Florida.
I tell you what.
That's cruel. That's so cruel.
I loved her.
The most horrific lyric is Angie Baby.
Oh,
do you remember that song?
Who wrote that?
Angie Baby. Yes.
Yeah. We did not write
look at that now.
We're gonna have to,
living in a world of make believe. Well, maybe.
Yeah. Instead of getting her mental health,
in fact, I may take that one.
Help.
Baby,
they made a song about her.
Right.
And I am woman, hear me roar, and numbers too big to ignore.
Here you go.
Can you do Trump yet?
I'm working on it. It's hard to do Trump. I'm working on it. See, that's it. I need to get motivated to do some new voices. And honestly, I'm like, I'm sort of at a crossroads. So I can hear the voices, but sometimes I just can't connect it to the voice. But I'm trying to find different voices I can do. I mean, walking is helpful.
Yes.
I always wanted to try and do James Garner.
Susan, are there any voices I do?
Right.
Any voices you do? You did a bunch for J.P. McCarthy when you were working on his radio show. I can't remember. You did Kermit the Frog, I think.
Did you do the Wool Boys? You were part of the Wool Boys?
The what boys?
The what?
The McCarthy. Was it? That wasn't McCarthy. That was Dick
Burton. That was Dick Burton. Dick Burton.
He was the Wool
He worked for Dick Burton too.
I was a writer. I was a writer for Dick Burton. I didn't do voice. Wait a minute. There was a voice I did, and I can't remember what it is now.
All right, Cookie, get over here.
I remember you doing Kermit the Frog.
Hey, Kermit.
Yep.
I do more animal impressions. Oh, you do. Mark does a dolphin.
Oh,
wow. Flipper.
You Flipper? Oh, great! Excellent.
That
I can kind of do a horse.
Yeah. I've done a horse. Never mind that. We'll ignore that.
Wilbur.
Wilbur.
All right, folks. We're now going to go to Las Vegas in our next show. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Listen to these lyrics. Though this is Helen Reddy's "Angie Baby."
Yes.
You live your life in the songs you hear on the rock and roll radio, and when a young girl doesn't have any friends, that's a really nice place to go. Folks hoping you'd turn out cool, but they had to take you out of school. You're a little touched, Angie Baby. Wow.
Yeah.
Lovers appear in your room each night, and they whirl you across the floor. But they always seem to fade away when your daddy taps on your door.
It's the 70s.
I know.
It sounds more like Girl Interrupted.
Angie girl, are you all right? Tell the radio good night. All alone once more, Angie Baby. Angie Baby, you're a special lady, living in a world of make-believe. Well, maybe. Stopping at her house is a neighbor boy with evil on his mind, because he's been peeking in Angie's room at night through her window blind. I see your folks have gone away. Would you dance with me today? I'll show you how to have a good time, Angie Baby, Angie Baby, Angie Baby. When he walks in a room, he feels confused, like he walked into a play, and the music's so loud it spins him around till his soul has lost its way. And as she turns the volume down, he's getting smaller with the sound. It seems to pull him off the ground toward the radio he's bound, never to be found. The headlines read that a boy disappeared, and everyone thinks he died, except for that crazy girl with a secret lover who keeps her satisfied. It's so nice to be insane. No one asks you to explain. Radio by your side, Angie Baby. Angie Baby, you're a special lady, living in a world of make-believe. Well, maybe. Well, maybe.
Maybe
Angie
Stephen King wrote those lyrics.
Alan O'Day.
It was written by Alan O'Day.
Undercover Lover, Midnight Fantasy. Yeah, that Alan O'Day.
Has he been to Epstein's Island?
Oh my God. No.
Too soon. Epstein had a Michigan connection. You've heard of Interlaken?
Oh yeah.
He donated money up there, and they're giving it back.
Yeah, they were trying to repurpose the chateau he built, but they're tearing it down.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to stay there.
Oh dear.
Where are we?
Well,
I don't know.
Spooky lyrics.
Oh, there you go. And let's not forget another contemporary. Tony Tennille, Muskrat Love. Again, the jokes write themselves. I know that I could have fun with that one, but
Tony Tennille did not write Muskrat Love.
No, she did not, but she did perform it with her husband. I don't know if Daryl wrote that or not. It wouldn't surprise me.
He didn't write it either.
Really? Okay.
Who you can perform somebody else's song. Barry Manilow is well known for I Write the Song, but he didn't write that one.
No, he didn't write that one.
That's the Beach Boys authored song.
But
I watched a great documentary on
Want to know more about
Tubi
Tap the mic.
about the creation of the beginning of surf music. And I didn't realize how much Dick Dale was.
Dick Dale
was the guy that actually the guy.
Yep.
That actually got it going.
Yep. And was it the Ventures became? Was it the Ventures who became sort of like the key exponent of surf music?
Yeah,
Wipeout and some of the other instrumental, and of course the infamous their theme from Hawaii 5-0, which is also the Ventures. Yeah. Or they had a hit with it. The original recording is actually done by the Wrecking Crew. God, I've wasted my life filling my head with minutia. I hate it.
Well, you talk about like the original 3 or 4 different bands that got started going back there, and how they started to progress, and then how much they hated the Beach Boys.
It's
completely against what they were doing,
And if you ever get a chance, if you can find it, Dana Gould does a wonderful breakdown on the Beach Boys' original manager, the Dennis Wilson's father. I forget his first name, but he was a genuine monster, a genuine. You know, they talk about stage moms. He was stage daddy. Yeah. And there are some clips of him on the internet of him arguing with his son Brian. And they are legendary. And
we wonder why he stayed in the bed all the time, you know?
Yeah. Well, you know why? Yeah, you know why this guy lost his marbles. He had toxic stage dad, and
But one of the things they were concerned about that Dick Dale was concerned about the Beach Boys is that the music itself for the surfing was not, as he said, you put words to it, you create what people are going to think. But you play the music as the music was without the words.
Right.
It allows a person to improvise in their head what it means to
exactly.
them. And he was like very concerned about that. That's why he didn't like the Beach Boys. He didn't like them actually writing lyrics to it. He looked at that as a form of an extension of jazz.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know the Beatles were big fans of the Beach Boys. Did you know that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney even talked about it in some interviews. They loved the Beach Boys, and they were just trying to get those great chords and things, those vocals, and that's it. They had sort of a competition back and forth.
Here's
what we're putting out there.
A piece of trivia from Hidden Brain is that they were discussing creativity, how it comes around. And it's like this guy was discussing like people are more creative when they're actually using their subconscious as opposed to their conscious. And so, the idea is that if you concentrate on something, you're going to be very creative. It's because the brain actually works on it by itself. And what they were discussing, this guy used an example from the Beatles when John and Paul were trying to create songs. They didn't record them. They would get on, they start doing lyrics and stuff. And then they'd go to sleep, which is another thing about this. You got to let your brain work on it for at least 8 hours. And what they basically said, all right, we'll do these lyrics and stuff. And they said, and if they came back the next day after doing these lyrics and they remembered them, then they think that there was possibility for a song there. If they didn't remember them, they just let it go.
Oh, they wrote tunes like that too, though. Paul McCartney talked about he came up with Yesterday with the tune first.
Yeah.
Linda was making him breakfast, and he came out, ham and eggs, darling, I love your legs.
No, that's pretty much. Then
he wanted new words for that, but the tune stuck.
But John would work. They would both work on these different sort of rhythms, and they would decide which one was, depending on when they remembered.
And then they'd ignore George, who was the best songwriter out of the bunch. But that's just me. I'm a George.
Yeah, but
fan.
didn't he steal somebody's song? And My Sweet Lord was.
They said that the
100%.
actual. No. The ruling is that he accidentally copied some of from My Sweet Lord from He's So Fine.
Yeah, it was identical. It's pretty hard to prove that, but
no, it's not identical. It is close. It is close enough that they actually got
close enough that he lost.
They did a test, and that's where they came up with there's so many so many notes and beats per measure. Now has become the sort of standard by which companies sue other companies over the liability for this sort of thing. Tom Petty was having lunch with somebody while he was still alive. He's going, aren't we suing each other? And he's like, I don't know. I don't care. Courts are more important. We shouldn't be using them to sue each other over pop songs. And there's a guy on the web named Bill McClintock who does these wonderful mashups where he strips out various lyrics and puts them on top of other songs. And you begin to realize that within the world of rock and roll and pop music, there's really only so much that we've been able to do. And when you're having like Queen, We Will Rock You, put on top of Black Sabbath's Paranoid, and it works perfectly, it kind of tells you that, we're not dealing with Beethoven and Mozart here. We're, we got to be careful. And Dolly Parton and Gordon Lightfoot, she had a song that was almost a complete ripoff of Gordon Lightfoot's "If You Could Read My Mind." That was eventually adjudicated. And again, not by Lightfoot. Not by Gordon and not by Dolly, but by the companies that own the rights to the songs.
One of my favorite rock.
Hey, we're coming to the end.
I love Dolly.
There was a band in California called Spirit. You guys remember that band?
Yes, and they allegedly contribute, or Led Zeppelin stole.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, because they opened for Led Zeppelin back in like 67 or something like that. Well, anyway, Randy California was their lead singer, and his stepdad was the drummer. How often did you have a father-son rock duo? You know, that was pretty unique.
Close, the one I could come up with, they did Killer Joe was a Filipino band. God,
you got me. All right, you beat me on Filipino band trivia.
Well, they had a hit. You know what am I supposed to do? It's not my
problem. we have a hit segment here with doing rock lyrics or other song lyrics to your voices. We're almost out of time.
It's a keeper.
What voice will do the theme song to the Brady Bunch?
That was written by Duvall. Frank Duvall wrote that.
Frank Duvall, Happy Kind, the Mirth Makers.
Yes, exactly. Happy Kind, the Mirth Makers.
Wow.
Yeah, Frank Duvall wrote a ton of TV. Again, it was a great. If you could get that job writing themes and that sort of thing, it was Henry Mancini writes the Batman theme. Amongst other things, again, it was a damn good living. I mean,
Gary Shandling had a good song for his show.
God, what a great
This
writer!
is the theme to Gary's show. Yeah. Only the guy singing it didn't write it.
Well,
how do you like it so far?
Yeah, Alexander Courage, who also did Star Trek, but he did 12 O'Clock High and a bunch of other stuff. And
another great trivia story is that the kid whose dad directed MASH, that wrote the song that the kid made $14 million more than his dad did on that film.
Oh yeah, well, because the thing is that he gets a credit.
Suicide is painless. Yeah,
he gets a credit every time that theme is played on the series or whatever. So yeah, he's still making bank. Yeah, the checks are still rolling in.
Not a bad way to make a living at 14.
There are 5 key elements of music publishing, and if you can get in on them, you're good to go.
Sometimes TV shows didn't use the lyrics, and they were smart to do that. The Lucy, I Love Lucy, has lyrics to that theme song, and they're really
I love
bad.
Lucy and she loves me. We're as happy as two could be with friends.
Just do instrumental was a wise decision.
We
did Desi
with no care.
Desi was a real musician, but I mean, did he write the theme to I Love Lucy?
He did not.
I don't think so.
Okay. Because he was.
No, his.
But it worked as an instrumental only.
Yeah.
He asked for the old recordings or the films, the old films that they were.
First off, he filmed it.
Yeah,
he filmed it.
They weren't filming it before.
They weren't filming it before, and he asked if he could have the film. They go, "Yeah, we're not going to do anything."
Sure, it's all yours.
Exactly.
They said that they could do. The agreement was, instead of doing 2 shows, East Coast and West Coast time, they would film it. And CBS said, "Okay, but you're buying the film." And they said, "Okay, if we pay for the film, do we get to keep it?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then they later sold the film.
Yeah, they forked out the money for that show.
Oh well, Lucy and Desi were.
So here they were trying to save work by not having. They were trying to save work by not having to do it live twice in a night, and they ended up making money off of it.
And that's
it is time to go though. It's still be determined whether we're gonna have a show next week. I like Susan's idea. We all record stuff. We put it all together and put it out there, not live, but just as a recorded show.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, wait a minute. I usually do music here. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Let me put the music on. Anyway.
It wasted another hour. Don't forget to hit that like button. Wherever it is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Whatever it is.
The like button's
wherever it is.
All 4 of you. Hit the like button.
If you're watching on your phone, if you're watching on your phone, it's different from your laptop or TV. It's always in one spot. All right. Well, we got to get out of here.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.